Hi lovelies, it's Jess and welcome back to my channel. So earlier this year, I found myself feeling quite uninspired and in a little bit of a rut, and I think it was because I was sort of finding myself in this limbo phase where I had finished my manuscript for my book, but I was still gearing up for the launch and work was a bit quiet and some of my friends were overseas, and I don't know, things started to feel a little bit stale and stagnant. And so I was inspired to make this video because there were a couple of things that I did that really got me out of that rut and did bring more inspiration into my life, in my career and in my personal life. So I wanted to make this video because if you are looking for more inspiration in your life, more motivation, or you're just feeling like things are getting a little bit mundane, then keep watching and I hope that you find this video really helpful. And before we get into it, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can join in. I'd love to have you part of the community if you're not already an official subscriber. And I'll also link resources, all of my resources, down below in the description box. So I've got 2 books, the High School Survival Guide and Work-Life Balance Survival Guide, and my blog, my digital planners, a bunch of other things there. So let's get straight into today's video. First thing I started doing that I really recommend you do is spend more time in nature. Not only more time in nature, but actually visiting different places, changing it up. If you always walk to the same park or you go around the same block, go on a different route and just change up your walking routine and where you visit. And it's really amazing how being in nature can spark inspiration. I think it's because we're able to quieten our mind and let new ideas come to mind, but also just the beauty of Mother Nature, honestly. Like, the world's most successful artists were inspired by nature and a change of scenery. So never underestimate the power of time in nature when we're seeking more inspiration in our life. Another thing I absolutely love to do is visit a bookstore, and not just visit, but like spend some really good time in a bookstore. If you are looking for clarity or guidance or a new direction in your career or anything, visiting a bookstore is a great way to invite more inspiration because you allow yourself to just mindfully meander through the store or plod along, pick up different books and notice what you're drawn to. For me, when I did that, I noticed I kept on being drawn to books around self-development, health and wellness, yoga, meditation, breath work. And I thought to myself, this is something that I really want to explore further. And it actually really did encourage me or it actually really did plant the seed for wanting to study meditation teacher training. So I have a couple of my favorite bookstores I visit, and there's one in Byron Bay when I go on holidays that I could spend a good couple hours in, and I'll always leave with quite a few books as well. So have a think about some really nice bookstores that are local to you and spend some time just seeing what you're drawn to. Another thing I would recommend you do, and that I started doing when I felt just like I was in a bit of a rut, was to journal. And the reason I found journaling so helpful was it gave me added clarity regarding where I felt stuck in life, but it also was an opportunity to write down, how do I want to feel in the future? And then once you're clear on how you want to feel, it's really a lot easier to work backwards and think, okay, what changes do I need to implement in order to achieve those feelings? What sort of things do I want to start doing, or hobbies do I want to start taking up? Or what career do I want to have and pursue in order to achieve these feelings? One of the best ways to get out of a rut and to feel inspired is to be really proactive and to learn something new. Now, there's an abundance of online courses out there that you could find for any type of hobby or skills. So I mean, access to these things is really not a problem anymore because we all have access to a computer. If you're watching this video, then you do. And so I really encourage you to think about something new that you can take up, a new skill that you can learn, because when we feel more challenge, we feel a greater level of purpose in our life because we're trying to improve something. We have a goal in mind, and life is not supposed to be stagnant. So it's really important that you take on the initiative and have a think about, what is something new that you want to be learning and that you can further develop a skill in. The next step was something that previously has really helped me when I felt quite uninspired or stuck in my career, and that's to look for expanders. Now, an expander is essentially someone who you look up to that exemplifies where you want to be in the future. And I have a few expanders. One of my favorite expanders is Gabby Bernstein. She is an inspiring author, speaker, content creator now. I mean, she's just done a million things that I absolutely love and has really inspired me. So it's great to have other people that you can look to, and not to copy, because you still want to be your authentic self, but just to have them as examples so that you can even almost pick apart what they do or how they got to where they did and follow their journey, and use that as inspiration for how you can get to where you want to be in life. Now, if you're feeling quite stuck and you can't really think of what you want to learn or what you want to do or where you want to be in your career, and that's why you're feeling uninspired, one thing that always helps me is to go back and think about, what did I enjoy when I was a kid? I was always really creative and I was always really active. I loved to draw, I loved to dance. And so when I was thinking about different hobbies that I could take up, I kept coming back to active or creative hobbies. And one thing that I started doing earlier this year, especially around the time that I felt stuck, was I started going to a reformer Pilates class, and I loved it. I came back from my first class and I was absolutely buzzing from excitement, because that was really in alignment with the sort of things that I have always loved, even from a really young age. Being around a lot of people, being active, being in a room with upbeat music, it was perfect for me. And honestly, that really helped me to get out of my rut as well. Another simple thing you can do is to reorganize or restyle and decorate a room. I feel like changing up an environment also helps us to feel more inspired. So if you are a creature of comfort like myself, then that's a really, really great thing that you might like to try. And probably one of the first things that you can do if you're feeling stagnant or uninspired is just change up your space. I also like to put on different music, upbeat music. I am definitely influenced, my mood is definitely influenced by music and my environment. So if you're feeling uninspired, you might like to try like some old school jazz or some blues or anything that gets you into like more of a moody, emotional state. Because I feel like I notice that my inspiration strikes when I'm feeling, I don't know, just like in the mood. I have this sort of vibe going. I can't explain it. It's just that sort of state that you're in when you're basically like feeling yourself, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean, can you just comment down below so I don't feel like a crazy person right now? But I hope you know what I mean. And then the last step when inviting new inspiration into our life is to just be still and allow it to come. And this is also why we have what's called shower thoughts. So some of our best ideas will come when we're in the shower or just basically doing nothing, allowing our minds to rest. So if you're feeling like you're trying to come up with new ideas for work, or you're trying to come up with a creative idea or a creative solution and it's just not happening, then just take some time to pause. And this can also include meditating or spending time in nature. It's just really important to not force inspiration always. So sometimes those creative ideas come to mind when we actually allow our mind to rest and just find a sense of peace and clarity. So let me know in the comments down below if you found this video helpful for inviting new inspiration into your life. If you're going through a rut or just feeling a little bit uninspired, then I hope that this video has been really beneficial, and just know that it's temporary. We all kind of experience those highs and lows in life, and sometimes I'm really inspired and motivated and creative, and other times not so much. But these steps have really helped me to transition out of that rut a lot faster, and also put me in that power position so I don't feel like I just have to sit and wait for time to pass and things will just sort themselves out, because we really do want to be proactive in our life. So I hope you found it helpful. Make sure to check out all of my resources down below as well, including my books, and follow me on Instagram at Study with Jess for added inspo and daily advice. And if you haven't already subscribed, please join my YouTube community. I'd love to have you as a part of it, and I'll see you very soon with another video. Mwah! Bye, lovelies.